Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at this very interesting conference. I'm going to start with referring to the first presentation this morning. So I think it was very interesting listening how he was actually talking about the value of data and analytics and how to quantify the economic value of it. Very interesting, but also what Carolina said, that dates and the time over both actually make sense in terms of what we've done at Green Cargo, and I think it's also exciting to reflect on what they said. The title for this presentation is Accelerating Data-Driven Business Innovation with Composable Technologies. A lot of nice buzzwords, but really stuff that we've put into action. I hope you enjoy this 20 minutes, and here comes the Green Cargo story. So what data-driven innovation must really look at and must focus on is to start at the core of the business. You need to identify what is the key driver for doing such kind of an innovative and transformational activity in any company. And the why for us was very, very important, and we found out without data we will be potentially lost in space. And that was a key finding of many years of struggle. And we also looked into the how and the what, but it's more important than when you've found your why, when you know your how, and you understood what you should do, you should be able to scale it. You should not be just happy and think that it's good work. So what was the situation I found 2 years ago when I joined Green Cargo as a CIO? It was pretty much the kind of CXO dilemma. For me personally, I thought, maybe this was a mistake, but in fact it was not. It's the greatest job I've ever had. So when I joined Green Cargo, I found out 2 mainframes, an unsupported SAP platform. We had major difficulties with complex planning applications and a lot of infrastructure being end of life, maintenance on the legacy systems, and especially on the mainframe, no real skills. And we never ever developed software that was sustainable inside the company, and a lot of these kind of challenges, while the business was waiting for IT to bring innovation and to deliver projects that would actually bring business value. Very few projects actually landed these days. The question was then, what do you do when you're faced with an enormous technology legacy and challenge? Fix the legacy or the innovation first? That was a big question at Green Cargo, and with the board of directors, we agreed after 7 weeks in practice. It was pretty much 2 months after I joined the company, with a few PowerPoint slides to not replace the mainframe and the SAP system, as the company tried for nearly 15 years. So what we found out, when you look at the CXO data, which have been addressed now at Green Cargo, for us it was important to do it Agile, have an evolutionary approach, but do it entirely business-driven. And the key question here is, of course, how did we do this? Maybe you're interested, and I want to tell you a bit more. It's a combination, by the way, of how we apply technologies, but also leadership to make it work. Okay, so the first thing we said is, evolution. We need to take, but we need to find an approach that would help us to deal with the but to bring sustainable and fast and rapid innovation to the business. So we came up with the idea of a composable and resilient enterprise. The word demo coming from kind of Gartner, which is now talking about a composable business and enterprise. We explain what we did. At this time, we did not know about the word composable, but it fits very well with what we've done. And resilient, especially in terms of pandemic and the kind of challenge that we can see in our business, resilience is very important of the business. But we looked into the opportunity to build in data-driven capabilities, do this really with cool tech and good tech, but also focus on the outcome with everything we did. You can introduce this kind of change programs by looking into the challenges you have, and you can make all of these kind of presentations and be happy, and you promise you bring this to you guys, and when you go to this and this. We did not do these kind of things. We did not present actually what we were planning to do. we took care of the legacy, really made dramatic change. We went from 4 releases a year in our mainframe up to, but then we started to slow down because it was too much. But we made the mainframe connected with the new tech, and I'm going to tell you in a few minutes what it was that we did. So be with me, it's probably very interesting. And if you look at the technology and the architecture that we have, it's very interesting. On the composable side, one is the legacy, the other one for us is the cloud. The cloud is not to move things, the cloud is where we have actually built the digital future of the company. So if I say cloud for us, we built a platform architecture, which is about several platforms. We are using Microsoft UiPath for automation. We are using GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and we are using, which is I think the most important one, OutSystems as a low-code development platform for enterprise applications. So we're going to talk about those a little bit more in detail. So what we also found is when we made the decision to move into the cloud, in the future in our composable architecture was really important. Our future and the digital footprint of the company is now all born in the cloud. And that means it's ready, steady, go. I think about our DevOps, and I told you that we never ever developed software in the company. And now we are at a state where we are building applications and interfaces and APIs. We are building data models and these kind of things. It's all done in the cloud. And it's so interesting to see. I'm coming from a major Nordic retailer. I learned probably everything that you want to learn in this kind of executive role. But what I didn't really learn was that kind of readiness and the speed. So what I say with ready, steady, go, our cloud architecture is DevOps ready, 100% DevOps ready, which is a great achievement right up from the beginning. So we never ever getting into trouble with the DevOps readiness and changing the infrastructure and these kind of things and the processes. And the key thing in our platform strategy was the integration part. Why is it important? And why did we build a hybrid integration platform? I think the answer here is if you cannot connect in a composable reality, let's say the legacy systems and the platforms you have, plus the ecosystems around you, and if you cannot connect the applications that you will build, you're gonna end up in major problems. We also see that with the API readiness, we have really succeeded doing we have hundreds of APIs now, and I told you this, the journey started 2 years ago, which is not so much time. So we have hundreds of APIs, lots of cool stuff, but the integration platform as such has given us the ability to take responsibility and to be really focused on building the integrations in the quality and in the speed and for a reasonably good price as we speak. So it's a dramatic change for us. And in the integration platform, we built in so much agility and quality that we will have no problems to maintain it in many years into the future. So the integration is key to the success of our story at Green Cargo. There's another element I want to raise, and I want to do a little bit of a deep dive into what we are now calling a highly productive app factory with Agile enterprise low-code app development. If you consider that, and I said it before, I say it again, we never ever actually developed applications. So, and now in 2020, after we implemented the low-code platform from OutSystems, we started to embrace on the first pilot. The pilot was delivered late 2020. And since then, I think we've built about 10, 15 apps, quite significant apps, connecting in real time to the mainframe, apps that will give someone out in the field the ability to move a wagon in a train by using his finger on a mobile phone and moving the wagon around. It's real-time connectivity. It's event-driven applications we are building. And the most exciting thing here is we have now the ability to build any app we want. We can build functionality within the mainframe. We can do this on our local platform, OutSystems. And we have a team in place, a combination of consultants, but also young, talented people. It's amazing to see how these kind of things work. For us, it's about to orchestrate, to reuse, and accelerate. We can see now the deployment and development of new apps is going so fast because we have implemented a very strict, let's say, policy of definitions that we are using, and what we do there is we are really defining the applications we're building based on microservices. They are coming from a catalog. They are highly qualified by our leading architects. So when we have a good microservices, it's going to be authorized and available in the catalog, and it can be reused. So I think 50 to 60% can be reused with every development, and we can maintain those applications. We have full control and can say that we really can embrace on what we did into the future. And we can also redesign applications very easily and make them more user-friendly or better or fitting to a different purpose. We can also extend the functionality. We build a customer portal, and we build applications that the European rail organizations agreed on could not be built before 2024. Yeah, we did this 2020, and there are more examples like this. And on the integration side, I didn't mention this. We've built a common interface that all these kind of rail cargo companies bought. Very old technology. We said no, we don't buy this kind of old technology to connect into the European network. We build it on our own. We did it, and it's better, cheaper, and it's much more reliable and future proven. The analytics part, we talk about data in this wonderful conference, and thank you so much, going on, for making this happen. It's a great event, must say that. Back to our analytics part then at Green Cargo, it's happening at the core of the business. It's universal for the company now. We are driving our things by use cases. We've heard this in the morning, but we're also focusing on value and return of investment. So what we've done on GCP, Google Cloud Platform, we have built the capabilities for the company. They are highly effective now. We have seen that the business really wants to move us faster, but we're building those incremental, and we're doing this one by one. The teams that we have in place are highly committed, and it's great to see. Whenever you go there, yeah, we can fix this. We need this integration, but then we can fix it. It's no big deal, right? So the analytics part with GCP is also connected. We're using Luca for visualizing the data based on the models that we've generated from a universal perspective, but also we're using it to some extent and giving it away to our people in the company so that they can use it in the Microsoft environment. It's no big deal. But on the other hand, we see this kind of citizen developer development, and in the Microsoft world, we're getting some people building reports and clever analytics, and then it's coming back to us, and we're building the universal models. Then we're also using AI, predictive analytics, and it really is important to see. Really important to implement this kind of things when you can monetize on it. And for us, it's a huge safety issue. We have applications predicting future events to happen, and that can avoid major incidents running a train. So that's very good stuff. I want to go back then to the idea of composable innovation at scale. We are truly embracing this. We are taking care of the legacy and the cloud platform. So the CXO dilemma is not a real problem anymore for us. And the composable innovation at scale that I mentioned is about to connect with the legacy. We do this in real time. It's pretty much about the migration from where we are. So we are rebuilding parts of the applications. We are rebuilding parts of SAP with our local platform over time. But also that all of this is event-driven and is happening in real time. So the legacy is one part, and the cloud platforms is our digital future. And as I said before, we were born in this future. And that's pretty amazing for a company like Rincargo, which is everything else than digital. So having said this, from business trees, as I mentioned in the beginning, I think that, well, so from business trees, we made it to become an organization with providing rapid innovation. And the funny thing here is that in the beginning, when the first strategy was launched, when I joined the company, we called it modernization. We didn't want to say digitalization, innovation. And innovation is a word that's being misused sometimes. For us, we don't work with the innovation funnel. We don't sit and do workshops. What do we want to innovate? We know what we want to do with this company. We want to change the core of the business model. We want to modernize and speed up. We want to become a predictive business. We want to operate integrated. We want to make optimized decisions at every moment, in every moment, where every employee should be able to be autonomous, to make cool decisions and right decisions while we're optimizing the network. And that's what we're doing together with our customers and partners. And for us, it's about simplicity, it's about speed. And the digital autonomy is not just the individual. For me, digital autonomy, and for us, it is about a great team that has now built all of this, great people, enormous engagement, and wonderful setup. So with this team in place, we've managed to become independent from any partner or supplier developing software concerning the future development of the company on those applications where we're running the legacy, that we are still depending on partners. We cannot get rid of this. This is not that we don't want to get rid of our partners, but we love them because they do great stuff on the legacy side. But on the digital side, we are completely autonomous. We can do whatever we want. And when I go to those teams, and we have 3 agile teams in place, so DevOps teams. So one is working with low code, one is working with integration, and one is working with analytics. And potentially we are looking into making some adjustments and probably increasing this a little bit. And remember, we had no such development in our company. And now 2 years later, that feels like a dream. And I also want to say this. I wasn't really equipped when I came from my former assignments and 25 years in IT and in senior executive positions. That did not really prepare me for this. So what I've seen at Rincargo is great leadership on the business, great leadership on IT, good collaboration with our customers. It's wonderful. It's amazing. I really want to say that, because without such a team, you cannot succeed. And we are a small organization, right? We're not 500 people. We're not 1,000 people. I think we're 28. So see what we have done in a very incumbent business. And these are my takeaways here. So you have to understand the why, right? It's key. You have to really go down and nail it. Why do we want to do all of this? You have to take control, yes, but you have to take risk. And we learned this morning, you should not look back. You need to look into the future. And there's more stuff that we need to do. You need to make it work, not make it perfect, because you would never be able to make it perfect. Be prepared for making mistakes. Be prepared for things going wrong, right? So make sure that you have a team that knows that no one is going to be hurt. Monetize sustainably, make friends and scale. And I want to say thank you for your attention, and thank you to my team, because this was a great journey for me, and it's not over, and we have more to tell next year. So thank you so much, and enjoy the conference.